Hi, I'm Charlie Torgerson with Charlie T's Foods, RC's Barbecue, and Charlie T's Smokehouse Barbecue Trailer. I also consult for restaurants, food and equipment manufacturers, and the Minnesota Pork Board. This video is designed to give you some tips and tricks on how to utilize Minnesota pork within your establishment. Hope you enjoy. Alright, let's talk pork value cuts. Here we have a pork butt that we're going to fabricate this muscle, which is called a pork collar, a copa, and the competition barbecue guys call it the money muscle. Here we have pork shanks, not hocks. Hocks are off the front. These are the pork shanks. They're off the leg in the back. And here we have pork cheeks. And when you get cheeks, you have one big muscle here and one small muscle here. And what you need to do is take all that silver skin off on both sides and any kind of fat. And you can see that that smaller muscle has more internal fat and the bigger muscles a little bit leaner. These you need to braise, sous vide, Instapot, or pressure cook just to break them down, because otherwise they'll be really chewy. Alright, let's talk pork butt. And one of my favorite muscles on the pig is right there. We talked about this right here. The copa, the collar. Again, the competition guys call this the money muscle. And you can identify it by looking. You see that little feathery look right there. That's how you identify it. And also, when you turn it over, you can see, wow, that feathered look. So we're going to kind of just roll that out. When I see roll that out, I'm just going to kind of try to find the seam first. Just don't start cutting. Okay? Now, if you don't want to roll this out and you want a bigger piece of meat, what you would do, you can see the blade bone coming right there. You could just go like this and cut it straight down. Now that would be called a CT butt, because you're actually capturing a little bit more of that blade meat. And it's not a true copa, capicola, money muscle, or collar. So we're going to roll that out. And again, I'm going to try to find the seam first before I just take a knife and start hacking it up. So just kind of take my time, use gravity here, and kind of be pulling when you can see that seam there. And you can see how it comes around. And then we're going to clean it up at the end too. See how I'm kind of just rolling that right off of it. Set that aside. Now obviously we can take this, we can smoke it, pulled pork. We can cut it into, if you have a bandsaw, you could actually take that, cut it into 3/4 inch pork steaks. You could also obviously confit this by sous vide it. A lot of things to do. Grind it into sausage. Now this is what I'm going to do, is going to kind of square these ends off. And then I want to kind of just take that like that. And then clean up any heavy fat, not too much though, off of there. Just kind of clean that up, make a nice shape. So it pretty much looks like a pork tenderloin. But again, it doesn't cost as much as pork tenderloin. So inexpensive piece of meat, you know, off a pork butt that you can turn into a beautiful kind of high-end medallion. So at this point, I could roast it, tie it and roast it, get it nice and even, tie it and roast it, cook it to 145 degrees. I could also take it a longer cook up to about 180. So it's like it has that little tender pull bite. I could cut it into pork collar steaks and just give it a quick sear in cast iron. So a beautiful muscle. You can see it's got this beautiful, let me cut into that a little bit. You can see the marbling there, and that'll all melt away. And again, you can identify it right there with that feathery look. So again, that's how it looks. You can see I tied them up, neat little package. Obviously they're not going to take that long to cook, but again, value cut, inexpensive piece of meat, pull that out, now you make a beautiful medallion, which gets a higher cost at the end. There you go. Alright, let's talk pork shanks. So this is another value cut, one of my favorites. Again, it's going to take a little braising time. So what we're going to do with these, you can see they're squared off nicely. We don't really have to do any kind of trimming. A lot of that fat's going to render out. And so we're going to just take them, season them with a little salt on all sides. Pepper. Again, you can season this whatever you want, but a little salt, a little pepper, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of this smokehouse rub. It's got a little heat on it, a little sugar to help caramelize. And then what we're going to do with these, we're going to heat up a pan, roasting pan, and we're going to put a little of that bacon fat in there. And what we're going to do is get these all nice and brown, take them out, put all of our beautiful aromatics in, saute those a little bit, put these back in, pour our pork stock over it, and then put it in an oven at 325 degrees and braise them until they're probe tender. All right, we're going to start by putting a little bacon fat. Again, you can see on these videos we've been saving all this bacon fat and making this beautiful broth for this reason right here. This is a pork video. We were using pork. We're going to melt that, turn it up a little bit. Smells beautiful already. All right, now we got our seasoned shanks. What we're going to do is just watch our heat, medium heat, and we want to just brown these really good on all sides. We're going to pull them out. We're going to set them in this 4-inch hotel pan, and then we're going to add our aromatics and just kind of keep building our broth and our beautiful stock. All right, they're looking nice and brown all around. So what I'm going to do is take them out, place them in this 4-inch hotel pan. I'm going to discard a little bit of the fat, and then we're going to add our vegetables. All right, we're going to add our little tomato, shallot, carrot, a little rosemary, a little celery. Saute this for about, a little garlic in there too. Saute this for about 5 to 10 minutes. These little that goodies on the bottom, we're going to deglaze this with a little beer, so we'll get all that nice yummy goodies off the bottom. All right, we're going to deglaze with a little beer, just a little lager. Again, a little trick here with that: if you use a beer and it seems to be a little bitter tasting, just add a little pinch of sugar, just take that bitterness out. Works real nice. I'm just getting some of that goodies off the bottom. We're going to strain this liquid at the end anyway and reduce it to make a sauce, so all that little goodies will go away. Turn this up. Bring it to a boil, reduce it by half. Then we're going to add our pork stock, bring it to a boil, and then we're going to pour it over our shanks right there. Cover with foil, put a hole in the lid, put it in a 325 degree oven, and put them in bed for about 3 hours until they're probe tender. Again, this recipe could be done ahead of time. The shanks could be cooled and then kind of rethermed like in a cooking hold or something. And then what we're going to do is kind of drop them in a fryer or roast them in the oven with a little olive oil and salt to kind of crisp up the skin and bring them back to life. So there's multiple ways you can do it. You can do it right from here and eat them right now, or chill them for the next day and then retherm them. All right, we're going to add our beautiful pork broth, a couple of them, because we need to cover those shanks all the way. Now we're going to bring this to a boil. Again, once we bring it to a boil, it's going to go over the top of our shanks, and we're going to go to the oven. All right, so our pork stock has come to a boil. We're going to take it, pour it over the top of this, and just barely cover our shanks. And we're going to cover with foil, and then we're going to go to an oven, 325 degrees. All right, I'm going to go in the oven with them. So I put a foil in it, put a little hole to release the steam a little bit. We're gonna go in at 325 high fan for approximately 2.5 to 3 hours. And then we'll be checking, we'll check it about 2 hours to 2.5 and see if it's probe tender, and just kind of keep checking every 30 minutes from there.
Yep.
All right, let's check our pork shanks. It's hot. And again, we're looking for probe tender, not really for temp. It's about 203 and they're nice and tender. See if I can show them here for the camera a little bit. That's how they look. Bone give away a little bit. We want them tender, but not falling off the bone. And we're done. We're going to take those out. All right, there you have it, our value cuts. We have a bourbon glazed pig cheek that we did in an Instapot or pressure cooker. We did our braised shanks, and also our copla, our collar, or money muscle. Remember, support your Minnesota pork producers and buy Minnesota pork.